My name is Meg, and I'm the VP Activities from Brighton SU. And today I'm interviewing Pedro from the Seigfried Collective, and I'm going to ask him a few questions. So first of all, what inspired you to create the Seigfried Show? And just tell me a bit about it and how it got started, really.
First off, hi everybody. My name is Pedro, as you mentioned before, and what inspired me to create the Seigfried Collective? Um, really, everything started at the summer of 2017. Um, I was just quite like, dealing with depression and just like, you know, mental health, and I went to just quite like, going through just my first like midlife crisis, if we can say that. And I remember around that time, I was just like falling in love with this Frank Ocean album called Blonde. And in one of the songs of the album, one of the songs of the album is called Siegfried. And I remember just like listening to the lyrics, how every single part of the song resonated a lot with me. So literally, that's the song that quite like motivated me, to leave the country that I was living in. I was living in Spain. I was studying marketing in Spain, and I always wanted to work, you know, as a creative industry, or just quite like help other artists, to reach their dreams when it comes to anything musical art, really. So I just took a massive leap of faith, and I decided to come to the UK. And fast forward, I started an internship in a local record label from here in Brighton called QM Records. And thanks to that internship, I was able to learn how to run events, how to manage artists. I started DJing as well. So I was learning how to mix, how to produce, how to do radio shows. And all of that just like came together so nicely in me that I started to just quite like be really inspired by it, especially knowing the fact that QM Records was founded by two black uh, men. And to me, that was so inspiring. So I was just quite like motivated, and I decided to create a collective where we can actually, highlight and showcase not only different artists from underrepresented communities, but also anything related to like art, culture. Um, it's just like a melting pot of, creative expression is the way that it started. And that's really when I found it. Yeah, when I got the idea and I got the right tools, we started doing the podcast and a radio show, and then from there it grow from like doing events to the point that we are right now with the online magazine as well, and just doing amazing collaborations with Lush or with you guys right now. So yeah, that's been the whole journey.
Wow, that's amazing. So in the beginning, what was the process like? Did you ever have any issues getting it noticed in Brighton? Like, how was it at the beginning of the process?
It was difficult on the fact that I didn't have like any higher educational degree title related to like media or music. So most of the things that I know or we are able to do, we have to just quite like, teach myself how to do it, or just like with a team, just like it's been just quite like a collaborating process. And obviously, when it comes to like, reach out to different artists or reach out to different venues to put up events, obviously you have to, deal with, a couple of like politics. But other than that, I I will say that like everything in life, if you want something, you have to, work hard, be consistent with it, and not give up. And if you are passionate enough, things will start to work out. And thank God I got a massive help from not only the rest of the Seigfried team, but also like guys like Nick and Ned from QN Records, which I mentioned before that I did the internship with. And they really helped me in order to like navigate and start to, get myself noticed, putting me on their events or, just doing radio shows or just like managing artists on my first year here in Brighton. So I would say it's difficult because obviously you have to just like work hard, but if you are consistent and you meet the right people, of course, things eventually will work out as we see right now with the collaboration that we are doing with Lush and now this beautiful event that we're going to do in 3 weeks.
That's amazing. So what would you say is the best thing about running the Seigfried Collective?
I would say I would say the best thing about running the Seigfried Collective for me is just the fact that it's quite like my dream come true. Like I came to this country wanted to be creative and be involved in the music and entertainment industry and just basically just spend the rest of my life just doing what I love. This is what I love. This is what, I wish, I can spend the rest of my life doing, just like, you know, putting up events, helping other artists, to reach their dreams and just like collab with different brands and be able to showcase to other black, creatives. So or the black artists, after me, that everything is possible. I come from a little tiny country in Africa called Equatorial Guinea, and one of my dreams is to be an inspiration, for the kids in there. So for me, has been a dream, and I wish I would do this for the rest of my life.
That's incredible. So have you ever had any big challenges since running it, and how did you overcome them, if you have?
Yeah, I would say the biggest challenge, obviously, has been financially, to be honest. Most of the most of the things that we have to do in this Western world is being run by money, from like getting paid to the artists when you book them to your event, to pay, for example, the venue, to rent the space for like a couple of hours, to pay to the photographers and videographers. I was just like hustling, just with a couple of part-time jobs and just reinvesting the money that I was earning in order to found the collective and also like be able to run the events because I didn't want to give up. And yeah, it's been difficult because sometimes you're struggling, like at the end of the month, I have to pay rent and I have to, sacrifice this amount of like, peace to pay the website, pay the SoundCloud page, pay, the different creatives that work in around me in order to make, this collective, a reality like it is right now. So obviously that's a big part of it, but like I mentioned before, nothing great comes if you don't sacrifice. So as much as it's been difficult and it's been rewarding as well at the same time because now I'm still getting to do the stuff that make me feel alive the most, which is this. So to me, it's fun.
That's so cool. That's amazing. So for like the fans and the listeners of the radio show, of the people going to your events and taking part, and anyone who's involved or a fan of the Seigfried Collective, what's the number one thing you'd want them to take away from you guys when taking part or being a fan of you? What's the main thing you want them to take away from it?
Just the spirit of be unapologetically yourself and bet on your dreams in whatever it is. You can make it. most of the members of the collective are, either like immigrants or like sons of, immigrants as well. For example, Balint, he's the co-founder of the collective. He's from Hungary. Abhishek, he's one of the writers, staff writers of the collective. He's based in Mumbai. He's from India. Um, Akanele, she's an amazing writer, activist, and poetess. She's from Nigeria. Umama, she's another amazing writer and poet. She's from Pakistan. Hena, DJ, radio presenter, she's half British, half Pakistani as well. So as you can see, it's just like a melting pot of culture and different people. And one of the reasons why we get along, so well is because, coming from, other places and knowing what's, the real struggle, we know that, we have nothing to lose when it comes to like bet on our dreams. So I don't really like the word fan because, I try to always keep myself humble and not see myself as bigger or greater than no one else. That's the reason why I love to be kind of like behind the scenes and help other artists because, it's just a platform to support and help. I want to be a man of the people. Siegfried wants to be a collective for the people, for unrepresented people, or for the people who might think that they don't have any kind of like opportunities with other big media platforms. So yeah, I would say, the energy that, we would love to come across with is just like the spirit of just be unapologetically yourself and bet on your dreams on the process.
Yeah, definitely. That's really cool and super interesting as well. Another question is, like, in your opinion, what
Yeah.
challenges might young Black people face in the world of music, and how can we as a society make a difference to change this?
Oh, this is a really great question. I would say, especially opportunities, really. To be honest, that's really about it. Like it's opportunities. Like they don't, the black man and the black woman, we don't have enough opportunities, to showcase what we can really do by ourselves. Like even when they put us in a position of power, quote unquote, let's say, there's always like someone higher up, just like looking at you, controlling at you, just really like cutting down your creativity or whatever it can be. But especially in the music industry, is just like taking advantage of your talents, but not really giving the opportunity to like leverage them, if that makes sense. um it can be from an artist, wanted to put, for example, like a certain type of music, but then, for example, the typical white, label exec, they want you to go to another route because this is the kind of music that makes money or fit in with their audience, for example. And it can be from like, management or any entrepreneurial, perspective as well, because you have, a lot of like great creatives, um, just like entrepreneurs, DJs, producers, writers. I feel like black people being just like knocking at the door, especially in the last 5 years, so strongly that there's no other option that, notice us. And even when they put us in position to notice us, it's just quite like watered down. I would love to see like, the head of, Spotify in the UK being a black man. I would love to see, the head of, any kind of like big media or music entertainment like company being a black woman as well. I would love to see more opportunities, more funding go to like less, for the less unrepresented people. So like I will say that's really about it. It's just opportunities. If the Western society, because I don't like to make it like particular, so I'm going to speak in general. if they don't give us, opportunities to showcase what we can really do and coexist together, like there's no, everything is just like for the social media, for the gram, it's just performative, but it's not real. So to me, I feel that would be like the thing that will change the most, like just more opportunities, more funding to more Black talent, and I'll stand by that for sure.
Yeah, definitely, 100% agree. I think my final question is, what does the future look like for the Seigfried Collective? Have you got any massive aspirations or goals, hopefully after the pandemic or maybe even during?
To be honest, yeah, like it's crazy, and I know this pandemic has been, horrible. Like me personally, it took like, a big tool of myself because like we have so many plans lined up, but it's just been quite like a sort of like a blessing in disguise, if that makes sense. Um, because due to the fact that we couldn't, run events anymore, we start to just quite like switch, or just like evolve or slowly transition into like more media or digital stuff. And through the pandemic, we were able to launch the website successfully in March 2020. And since then, our following has been growing. We went from like just 110, 150 followers in our, you know, for example, Instagram account to almost like 400, 500 that we have right now. We went from like just not getting any sort of like funding to just like have this massive collaboration with us and, get the support, the local support from the people in Brighton, just like supporting our, merch or our pages, or just like supporting the artists that we've been trying to highlight and showcase in their store. And now with this event, it's just something that I don't think it will happen we if we weren't like locked down in the house. So it's been just quite like a blessing in disguise. And I will say that for the foreseeable future, the plans is turn Secret into like a proper like media agency. We would love to add more photographers, videographers, have more writers, and just be able to elevate our platform and hopefully in the future make it sustainable. We want to as well release hopefully sooner than later, but whenever it can be really a merch, just quite like merchandise and just quite like line with like different logos and different designs that we already been working on. And we want to work with other artists. We have just quite like a independent music label within the collective because obviously music is, I love art, I love culture, but music is really my thing as a DJ, producer, and radio presenter myself. And one of my passions is discover, fresh talent. So we have three in-house artists right now in the collective: ZBK, Frankie Jean, and Diak. And like I said, the secret goal is to make it international. So ZBK, for example, is a British Jamaican rapper and producer. Diak is in Spain, in Salamanca. And Frankie Jean is a Belgian slash Canadian, singer, songwriter, and activist now based in Brighton. So yeah, we would love to put up, for example, a project, with the three of them just collaborating with other artists, just drop, the merch line and just keep elevating, hopefully, the collective as a media agency, release an imprint magazine as well. We have so many plans and I'm just a dreamer. So I just hope that in the future, I'll look back at this interview and be like, yo, we actually did it.
Oh, that's amazing. I hope so. But yeah, thank you so much. This has been so interesting, and I can
Thank you,
imagine a lot of
guys.
students think so too. But yeah, thank you. And we look forward to seeing you on the 29th of October for the Seigfried and BSU showcase collaboration.
For sure, I'll be there. I hope
Thank
to
you
see
so
you guys
much.
as well.
Thank you.